Once again, the Friday's here. We can relax. We can put our feet up. No, we can't. No, we cannot. There shall be no relaxing. There'll be no sitting back and enjoying this weekend because, god damn it, there's so much going on. We've got a busy old weekend ahead of us, guys. Better strap yourselves in for some fun times because it's E3 weekend. Yes, it is. E3 weekend. We saw the wonderful Elden Ring trailer last night, as well as 2 Point Hospital's next game, 2 Point Campus. Gonna be good. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be a good next 6 months. So we're gonna find out even more over the weekend, and we will tweet out when those streams are going on. We're gonna check it out, the big ones, whenever we can. But it's not even over for today. I'm talking about Saturday and Sunday and Monday and all those kinds of things. But it's not even over for today. And you know why? Because in just a couple of hours after drama time, we're gonna be sitting down with representatives from the best guilds in the world. Yes! Limit Max, Roger Brown's from Echo's Roger Brown, and of course Pieces Bastu, as we get ready for the race to world first to kick off. Pick your side, choose your team, pledge allegiance as to who will be the victors this time around. And I'm just so excited to find out the crazy shit these guys have been getting ready for with this massive 0.0 patch. Who will bring Sylvanas down first? Who will tickle those toes and massage those feet? Who will be the first one to bring it home? A lot of competition, man. A lot of competition and a lot of effort going into this one. The viewers always win. That's the best thing about it. The viewers always win. But somehow, some way, there will be a victor. Will it be a surprise upset? I don't think so. Could be. You never know. You never know. Will China come out of nowhere? Will Russia come out of nowhere? Will one of the EU, US, or Oceanic guilds climb up? Have they been making secret preparations without us knowing? Will one of the guilds that has been tied to 3 days yet definitely has the skill climb up to the top as well? I don't know. I don't know. But we're going to be checking it out. For those of you who are interested in raiding, we'll be going through the bosses. We'll be talking to the dudes who know everything inside out and have been studying those books non-stop before, of course, they go dark. Because that's what's about to happen. They're about to go dark in preparation for 9.1, although we don't have an announcement date yet. Like, when we set the date for the Race to World First, a little while ago, we were like 99% sure we would have had an announcement date by now, and it would have been like a couple of weeks before we got started. It would have been a really good time. We like planned it in the calendar. It's like, if we put it here, it should be a really good state of affairs. So hopefully that announcement date is coming very, very soon. And we'll know what's happening, because that would be really helppful, Blizzard. Maybe it's another month away, in which case we are extremely premature. We'll find out, though. We'll find out if it's like, oh, we're doing it in August now. But all signs do point that it is coming in the next couple of weeks, 3 weeks here. Should expect an announcement pretty soon. But that's not why you're here right now. Let's have some drama. Let's have some fun. And our first one here that I actually saw, provided by Wonderful Bex, was it needed our judgment. And we do love here, our wonderful drama audience, is dispensing justice. Because we're so good at it. People trust your opinions to our live audience here. And so those YouTube commenters who drop their opinions in as well. It is all part of the show is to dispense judgment as it flows. All right, our names here will be Ninja. Funny. Oh no, that's the wrong one. I just need one name. I'm just crazy, Bex. Don't shout at me. Whopper. Whopper. Okay, we need Whopper. I'm reading a different story entirely. Jerks play classic The Burning Crusade 2. No they don't. Everybody who plays The Burning Crusade is an upstanding member of the society, right? We're a community, goddammit. Polishes his gavel. And I have no doubts that the lust for purple pixels, especially purple pixels that are like 15 years old, is definitely quenched. Nobody's excited about a Dragonspine trophy anymore. That's old news. Right, guys? Right? Nobody's going to get excited about that Dragonspine trophy. No. No. It's going to be fine. Who cares who has tier 4? Because tier 5's right around the corner. You what? You what? I will pay all the DKP for DST. All right, let's see what's going on in the Burning Crusade. Justice Preach. Hello. And the ladies and gentlemen of the Drama Time Court. It's you lot. I have had to come away from my PC. I had to take a break, even though this is the first day of Classic The Burning Crusade. I need you to settle my case. Once again, we come to the court to ask that simple question. Am I the arsehole? Am I? When the Burning Crusade launched unexpectedly early, I was ready. Unexpectedly early? Do you mean on time? Is that what you mean? It launched on time. I logged on my Rouge. I know, less DPS than a Hunter Pet, total waste of time. Nothing wrong with rogues. And sprinted through the big, dark portal. 5 minutes after the game went live, I was standing in Thralmar, and I was ready. I was ready. And that's where I made the mistake that set all of today's tale in motion. A smart man would have kept up the pace and stayed in front of the pack. Instead, I decided, oh, you poor naive son of a bitch. I decided it would be wise to start setting up my professions, learn recipes, and browse the vendors. You know these vendors are on retail, right? You know you can go and check them now, or you could have checked them, you know, anytime you wanted over the last 10 or 12 years. You could have done that too. You didn't need to wait till the game launched to do that. That would have been fine too. But whatever, you know. It's really important that you pick up your profession stuff. There's no time to do it later at all. In that 2 minutes, at least 10,000 people caught up to me. Squeeze your brain, Mike. What is the first quest in Thralmar? Oh, Jesus. Fuck. I actually did do this not that long ago. When the TBC beta came out, I played it for about an hour and a half or so. It's to go and kill the Infernals. And the imps, right? That are to the right of Thralmar. That's the first quest, I'm pretty sure. Oh, no, I'm wrong. Let me tell you. It's collect 12 bloods from Strawberry Orcs around the road to Hellfire Citadel. That is kind of when I stopped leveling, I'm not going to lie. That was when I... People bitch and moan at me, right? They do. People bitch and moan at me about not playing the Burning Crusade. Because, like, that's what you do if you play World of Warcraft. You should be playing the Burning Crusade now. But I decided not to. And this was one of the big full stops. The period on my decision was that I did half of this quest and I just couldn't play it anymore. Because it was ruining everything I remembered about the Burning Crusade. I was like, I cannot do it. I refuse. I'm not doing it. This quest is awful. I'm out. These bloods have about a 30% drop chance. I passed 1 million red orcs on my way to Thralmar, but by the time I got back to the spawn points, they were swamped. In each place orcs had once patrolled, now a dozen hunters and warlocks bounced around in frustration. The obvious solution was to skip the quest. I couldn't do that. The reward is a Blackwing Lair level sword that was miles better than my crawl blade, and I just couldn't say no. You could. It wouldn't have gone better for the entire night, though. Like, to be fair, there is no way that quest gets any better through the entire evening. I think the trick, unless oh, you're probably undergeared, but you could go and kill the ones that are down in the valley, and they also dropped the blood, but they're 2 levels higher, I think? I think you could, if you were overgeared, you could go and do that, I think. I might be wrong, though. Instead, I scouted around, lurking in the shadows, hunting for a place to farm this blood, and there I see it. One little spawn area with one guy, a troll hunter called Whopper. I decided to chance it and invite Whopper to a group. Whopper declines. Fine. Okay. You're going to be like that? Let us be like that then. So I hung around anyway. After a few moments, a lonely strawberry orc spawned. I saw the red arrow of a hunter's mark appear over his head. Too slow, Mr. Whopper. I cheap-shotted that orc and started chopping before Whopper's bullet landed. Who's hunters marking when people are fighting for mobs? What a dick. Whopper, you're also a dick. Then the message arrived in the pink. Excuse me. That was my mob, said Whopper as I looted my first blood. I responded politely, I believe. I invited him to a group. He declined. Fair enough. 2 more orcs spawned. I vanished and stealthed over to the nearest one just as the hunter's mark appeared on it. Too slow again, Whopper. I garroted the orc, body pulled the other one as I came out of stealth, and Whopper's pet was on the first orc, so I switched over. And Sinister sliced the second one, so I had both the tags that he was DPSing. Moments later, 2 dead orcs. And now I had 3 out of 12 bloods. Another message appears in the pink, my friends. I know you're probably new to World of Warcraft. But when you see an enemy that has a red arrow above it, that means it's been claimed. Alright. Well, I don't remember seeing that in the TBC guidebook. I don't recall seeing that. KK, I responded. Why don't we just group up and then we can share them, though, I added. Grouping means less experience. You don't get experience from killing untagged enemies, do you? Do you? I don't think you do. I'm pretty sure you lose XP if you don't have the tag. No, you don't, right? Okay. Grouping equals less experience. Fair enough, I said. Also, I don't group with ninjas. You're ninjaing my enemies. I was about to ask where this ninja was, when all 3 strawberry orcs spawned at once. Instantly, a hunter's mark appeared over the nearest. If this guy wanted a ninja, then fair enough. A ninja he shall have. The orc with the hunter's mark got a cheap shot. Immediately, I hit sprint, grabbed the other 2, blowing blade flurry to tag them all. Whopper was displeased. He spat on me. He spat on me again. And then he spat on me a 3rd time. Then the message appeared in the pink. As colonial and regal as you would like, ladies and gentlemen. A reading from the Book of Whopper, 3:16. Eat a bag of dicks, cocksmoker. I mean, what else am I supposed to say? The LOL, all caps, was the reply that I gave him. I can tell you are a retailer. It is the sad fucks like you that ruin the classic experience, he said. Go back to retail. Okay. That was enough for me, of course. I stuck him on ignore. Whopper hung around for 2 more sets of smorks, tagged none of them before giving up and going away. And I stayed in my free, now Whopper-free area and farmed until I had all 12 bloods and collected my brand new shiny weapon. But you know what? That wasn't the end of it. Because you know what the Burning Crusade is all about. In fact, the whole classic experience is about one thing. It's the community. Your name carries weight. You are no longer rogue, hunter, warrior. It's your name. That's your reputation. 10 minutes later, I was doing the bombing run quest near the portal when a whisper arrived from the pink. A priest. Not played with a priest. Hey. A guy called Whopper gave me 5 gold to tell you you're gay. Soon after, a whisper from someone else. Congratulations, mate. You're gay. Then from someone else. I hear you're gay. And then finally, gay. This continued on and off for an hour. At 5 gold a pop, Whopper must have invested about 100 G in his revenge plan. As you would expect, I cringed. What else was I to do? But I was mildly impressed with his commitment. Soon it sprouted into a general chat meme. I looked down and dozens of people were discussing whether or not I was gay. What that actually means in World of Warcraft. And how little anyone cared in 2021. And then my guild noticed. And they, of course, decided to accentuate the meme. An officer whispered me from my guild. You gay? I said, of course, as you well know. And then he whispered back saying, damn right you are. Why don't you come over here? But you're married, said an officer with no sense of humour. I said she's very butch. I am married. I mean, she's very butch, so, I mean... Oh my god. My wife was behind me bringing me a cup of tea, to which she asked, who's very butch? Panicking, I said, well, you are, dear. She snorted and went away. Crisis averted. I'll update your note, said the officer. Helpfully. Sure enough, my note in the guild tab now reads married but prefers dudes. I said nothing. Honestly, being called gay like it was some kind of insult, it was an authentically 2007 Burning Crusade experience. Wow, it's just like I'm really there. This is incredible. Whoa. Now, one of the last quests you get around Thralmar is a quest to kill a very overtuned elite demon in the slime area. I remember that. He looks like Magdaridan, right? That dude. It's marked as a 3-man quest, but you're dead if you go without a balance group. When I reached the quest, I went to general chat. Does anybody need a gay rogue for the elite quest? Lots of laughs ensued, and I got an immediate invite. Hey, it turned into your favor? People are like, yeah, I want to play with this guy. I made my way over, and guess who was waiting there for that motherfucking spawn? Our boy Whopper. He had a group of 5 and was clearing the nearby trash. When he saw me coming, he spat on me again. I laughed at him with my creepy undead laugh. He must have told the group I was a ninja because they instantly surrounded and camped the spawn area. I watched their paladin chain consecrate until he ran out of mana, the dumb bastard. Poor paladin. I'll spam consecration. Oh. Oh no. My group was still miles away. I could see that half of them were collecting goblins from nearby cages. I considered trying to grab the spawn anyway, just to annoy Whopper, but decided it would be embarrassing to die uselessly in front of him. Smart lad, man. Smart lad. So I stood back, and watching Whopper bounce around, I decided we could maybe be friends after all. You're really going to make a play to be friends? After all, he's a WoW player just like me, sitting at home playing classic The Burning Crusade. I reasoned with myself. This has got silly. And hasn't the silliness gone far enough on a day like today, the Burning Crusade launch? I took Whopper off my ignore list and gave him a friendly wave. When the elite spawned, Whopper's group grabbed it, I watched them fight, and I even cheered for them. When they killed it... Oh no. That's when Whopper turned and spat on me. Not once, not twice, but he spammed his thing 14 times. I actually counted them. What a bro. Well played, Whopper. What a bro. Fuck him, I thought. I hit my sprint and ran down into the slime area. 20 seconds later, I was back with a train of slime and demons, dragging them straight through the paladin's consecrate and then vanishing. Oh, brutal. That is brutal. That group fought valiantly for about 2 seconds before getting squashed into jelly. OMFGGGGG, said Whopper before I put him back on ignore. But I tell you what, audience, that was not the end of it. How is this not the end of it? This was not the end of it. Oh no. That night, oh my god, Whopper, what is wrong, dude? That night, Whopper found the public section of our guild Discord and started making formal complaints. Oh, Jesus Christ. The complaint listed 3 key offences, as he put it. 1, I repeatedly ninjaed mobs in Hellfire Peninsula. 2, I deliberately trained mobs into him to wipe his group. 3, I damaged his reputation on the server with vicious name-calling. Whopper demanded satisfaction. He warned us in his notes that if the guild didn't apologise and take serious disciplinary action within 24 hours, Whopper would notify Blizzard. You wouldn't, Whopper, would you? Would you? You wouldn't. You wouldn't go and tell Teacher. Are you going to go and tell Teacher? Don't tell Teacher, Whopper. Come on now. We could be pals. Don't do this. Oh, son of a bitch. Now, of course, I wasn't worried, because why the fuck would I be? Not at all. Even if 2 of Whopper's 3 complaints were somewhat justified, the third was a fantasy. Besides, as if the guy who paid people to call me gay was going to report anything to Blizzard. That's true, actually. That's true. My guildies, though, loved it. Of course they did. Oh, I would have given so much to have this happened to the Bald, Fat and Ugly Discord. Oh my god, that would have been the best. My guildies loved it. Instantly they started replying. You're right, we should have kicked that son of a bitch years ago. Either he goes or I go, they started spamming. I responded as well, of course, jumping in. Please, I beg of you guys, I'm so sorry. I would never do it again. When I checked in the morning, the GM had replied, and I braced to learn my fate. from the complaints. A message from the Guildmaster. Hi, Whopper. We are very sorry for the appalling behavior of one of our guild members. For context, he has a difficult life being married to a butch woman while being gay, but that's no excuse. Our investigation has confirmed your claims, and we agree that disciplinary action is warranted. Therefore, we will be deducting 40 DKP for each offence, a total of 120 DKP. Please accept our apologies, Whopper, and we hope you find this outcome satisfactory. The guildies all replied, of course, loving this moment. Oh my god, he's dead, dude. Why do this? 120 DKP? That's crazy. Serious consequences for a serious crime. Clap emoji. Justice has been served this day. I replied, mercy. I will get no loot for the next 6 months. And the GM replied, there is no mercy for traitors who besmirch our guild's good name. For the record, of course we don't use DKP. Who the fuck uses DKP? I had work that day. I spent 7 hours behind my desk, itching to get back into some Burning Crusade. And when I finally logged in, I was greeted by my guild like a hero. It turns out Whopper had then reached out to our guildmaster in-game. Oh my god, you fucking loser. And expressed his satisfaction with the DKP punishment. Oh my god. Get a guild, man. Play with friends, for the love of God. To show there were no hard feelings, the GM had invited Whopper into a guild slave pens run. Oh, no. The group swapped stories about how bad I am during the run and debated whether or not the severity of my punishment was too extreme. They kept up the charade until a cool crossbow dropped from the second boss. Whopper was, of course, very excited. Of course, the GM awarded the crossbow to himself and sharded it on the spot. Oh, man. Oh, this is where I need to be the judge. What a roller coaster. Gildy says hello, he said, kicking Whopper out on his ass. I'm pretty sure I'm safe from any Blizzard action, but justice preach. Cast your judgment. Did Whopper get what he deserved, or was I the bigger dickhead? You were fine. If you want my judgment on you, you were fine. You are declared not guilty. I don't think you should have sharded the loot in front of him, though. The GM, I mean. That's just... I don't know, man. You mocked him. You played him like a fiddle for like 24 hours. I don't know. The jury... I leave this up to the jury. I need the jury for this one. I need the jury. I don't know. I don't think there's any need to, like, in-game punish someone. Deserved. I mean... It's hard to say. My jury's as cold as ice, man. They really are as cold as ice. The jury's hearts are built from actual nightmares. They really are. Deserved. He was going to go to Blizzard, though. Good. Then Blizzard will tell him to piss off. Like, do you think there's a thing where you can go to Blizzard? That's not a thing. That's not a thing. That crossbow has cost him more in... Unless he got it, luckily got it like in the next few runs or whatever, has cost him forever in leveling time. That's mean. That's just mean. Oh, we've got a Final Fantasy 14 game. Weeb's out! From officer to thief. Okay. Alright. This sounds like a Final Fantasy thing. This sounds like it. What happened? Did someone steal your handbag? Okay. I'm going to leave that. I'm going to leave the previous story to the jury. Personally, I think it was too far. I don't think you ninja... I mean, you actually did become the ninja, although technically it was your guild master. Who the hell is running dungeons with Master Looter, though? The fuck is that? Who's running 5-mans with Master Looter? No wonder Master Looter got removed. Praise be. Praise be to Master Looter getting removed. Asmon's running 5-mans with Master Looter, is he? That fucking guy, man. That fucking guy. Oh, we need a guild name. All right, I need a Final Fantasy appropriate guild name. That's what we need. We need a Final Fantasy 14 appropriate guild name to go with it. Oh, thank you, Iogy. Thank you very much, dude. The Chocobos. I like that. That's not offensive. The Chocobos. Chocobos. Perfect. I'll take the Chocobos. Introduction then. Here we go. You guys are going to have to help me with this because my experience with Final Fantasy 14 is watching a raid boss. But you guys know much more than I do. I know you do. Hello, Preacher, and a hearty bro fist to the always lovely chat. Hello. I recently found your Dram Time stories and have enjoyed them greatly with my friends of late in this mad quarantined world. I'm an FF14 boy, the leader of a fairly casual, family-friendly, free company. You're a casual guild. Gotcha. Though we're fortunate enough to have a couple of raid teams doing savage progression. But drama, of course, is not contained to World of Warcraft. It crosses all the online games. Yes, it does. And my friends encouraged me to share this tale of one particular player in our guild. Yes, we're in that distant Weibo land of Final Fantasy XIV, but I think that guild drama connects us all on a spiritual level. I agree, brother. People be people regardless of the game. Our story is set back in the release time of the FF14 expansion, Stormblood. Some background on our guild is needed here. The Chocobos is actually a multi-game guild, formerly a Christian gaming group. Am I okay to read this? A Christian gaming group, but since softening to family-friendly. The Chocobos had different branches in various MMOs. Throughout the FF14 branch, mostly kept to itself. The game leadership answered to a high council who mostly existed to help with leadership drama and help out new guilds. So, just to picture this correctly then, there is a high council of the Chocobos which has branches in different games that spawn from like a Christian gaming group. That sounds like a cult. I'm not going to lie. That sounds like you're spreading. Other than that, though, they prefer to just keep the website lights on, play games, and let the game leadership handle their game stuff. All right. Okay. So there is this existence, but generally speaking, you play your game. Which brings us to the Chocobos. And our hero, Gramza, the guild leader, a co-leader, and frankly unwieldy 5 additional officers, coming to 5 guys and 2 ladies. One of those officers is our antagonist of all this drama, Hairy Dukes. Hairy Dukes is a pretty good player, an officer, a member of the raid team, and boy is he ambitious. An ambitious son of a gun. Hairy Dukes wants to edit the overall Chocobos guild charter. Oh, he wants to change the documents. Oh, he wants to change the guild charter. Hairy Dukes brings this to the High Council about website changes and getting admin permissions for the Discord server. Hairy Dukes has opinions about raid composition and strategies, ideas loftier than his station. And to be fair, the charter did need editing, the website was a mess, and he had some pretty good ideas. The sacred texts. You know why I'm laughing? There are some guild masters that draw up these fucking documents and they do think they're the sacred text, man. They like 100% believe they are the sacred text. Written by Achilles himself in the fires of Mount Doom. As I think back, Hairy Dukes was a pillar of the guild. And he was friends with many of us. This, of course, included the officer team, including one lovely lady and my girlfriend, Devon. Oh, no, did he piss off your girlfriend? Unluck, dude. Devon got me into FF14 as one of the oldest members of the guild. Devon was not a raider, but instead set up our in-game social events and did a lot of our in-game gardening. See, this is I can't play Final Fantasy 14, man. Like, what are you talking about? There's a gardening officer. I can't play this game, man. Like, you're fucking with my karma. You're messing me up. You're messing me up, man. You're messing me up. I'm all left and right now. In fact, Devon and Hairy Dukes internet dated for a bit beforehand. Oh! Though it ended when she spent a week at his home and found it entirely boring and awkward. Unlucky. They parted amicably, though. And I'm told that it didn't get into the officer meetings. Okay. I, at the time, was just a... You guys always include screenshots of your fucking Final Fantasy 14 characters. It's not always terrible. Guilty. I, at the time, was just a member and raider. The leadership asked me a couple of times if I wanted to be an officer, but I declined. I didn't have much interest in joining that kind of bloated team and committing to meetings and things like that. Still, I knew most of the officers, not least because many of them were raiders as well. And of course, I was close to Devon. It's from them that I got some details of this tale, as at the time, I wasn't part of some of the more secret meetings and conversations. I'm going to show you the picture, but we're not there in the story yet. I just scrolled the page, right? Calm down. I was taken aback by the level of shocking quality. Chapter 1, then. My right to swimsuit mogs. Is that a clue? The beginning of this tale revolved around a particular set of gear from a leveling dungeon in Stormblood. An underwater palace, with all its gear being some form of swimsuit. A swimsuit that was similarly skimpy, regardless of gender. And oh, how Hairy Dukes loved this swimsuit. He was thrilled when a dyeable version was released with an in-game event. He also had a habit of hanging out in the guild house yard in his swimsuit, dyed a brilliant metallic blue. This is the mog in question. Alright. There it is. For our audio listeners on Spotify, it appears to be a black set of trunks with knee pads and armbands with some sort of red trim and some sort of goatee protector / fake beard. Something like that. If I was to... It looks terrible. Let's put it that way. It looks terrible. It looks bad. Now, I imagine you in the esteemed chat wouldn't find much issue with this. Oh. Stop you there. I have many issues with this. But I certainly didn't think much of it either. But you must remember, our guild is strictly family friendly. Wait, what? Are we going down the road of it's inappropriate clothes? Is that what we're doing? Okay. All right. Let's ride this. Let's see where this roller coaster takes us. Strap in, boys. The Chocobos wasn't Christian per se, but it had come from those origins, and it had many Christian members. One female member wasn't too happy about getting a good gander at Hairy Duke's Catboy package every time they visited the guild house, and made a post about it on the website. They said they weren't comfortable being around players of the guild in skimpy clothes. But we knew who they were talking about. Just don't look. The post started a kind of long discussion. A discourse, if you will. Lines were drawn, posts were made, and talk spilled over into the guild chat and our shiny new Discord server. The guild began to coalesce into factions, split between those who refused to let this spectre of puritanical censorship corrupt our homely guild, those who were horrified at this stubborn levicity coming to light, and those who didn't really see why anybody gave a shit. I am in the third camp. I am in camp number 3. I will be there, I will be in my chair, and I will have a beer in hand. You will find me in that corner. The officer team was where the biggest arguments were starting to take place. Hairy Dukes, as the swimsuited centre of the conversation and a raider, got the other raiding officers on his side, and he started to dominate the officer meetings. Most of the officers agreed with him, with Gramza and another officer being meticulously quiet, but one person voiced her opposition. Devon felt like the officers had a responsibility to their members, that if a member had an issue with an officer, it was really on the officer to change. I don't agree with that. Members can be real dickheads. I should know, I was one for ages. I suggested all sorts of crazy shit to Alex, and he always said no. And then I said I had a problem with Loz because he was like stuck to his chair. And I never got help. In a guild that specifically labels itself as family friendly, it was really off for one of its officers to hang out in a mankini on the front lawn all hours of the day. This is the most insane shit. Why do you... You guys are always like, you should play Final Fantasy 14. This is my exposure to it, right? Okay? This is what I get. But saying that, if I hadn't played World of Warcraft and I heard the WoW drama stories, I probably wouldn't play World of Warcraft either. So, I mean, it's each to their own, I guess. She thought that it really wasn't a big deal to have an AFK mog that wasn't a swimsuit. But Hairy Dukes had drawn his line in the sand. The swimsuit was now part of his character's identity. And no puritanical inquisition would stand between him and his God-given right to AFK in a video game in a banana hammock. A note here from Bex. I just started playing FF14 and I got my character to show her support. Free the banana hammock. I mean, I guess you want me to show this, but... I mean... It's kind of... Those thighs are kind of arousing me a little bit. Why the gloves, though? Why the gloves? The gloves are a little concerning. If something takes my eye off the pelvic bulge, it's the gloves, right? You know what I mean? They're beautiful? Okay, sure. Sure. This continued for weeks. Weeks. Devon would break down crying IRL with me when I was able to visit, as she felt she was being pushed out of the guild entirely, away from all her longtime friends. She felt overwhelmed because it was all the boys who rallied in support of the freedom to slutmog, while the other female officer remained silent. She got some former guild leaders to enter the fray, but they stuck to the website and didn't really affect the conversation amongst the officer team. So there she stood, Devon, alone, one girl against the banana hammock, being argued at, but still refused to acquiesce. And so, as is the rules of the Chocobos, Hairy Dukes called for the High Council. We're taking this all the way to the top. You sure? You sure you want to bring up the slutmog to the top? Okay. Alright. We're taking it to the top. They're convening. They're convening, guys. The chapter 2 then. The clandestine meetings. At this point, the High Council had noticed the website forums blowing up and weren't too surprised when Hairy Dukes approached them seeking judgment. Well, Hairy Dukes wasn't here on a peacekeeping mission. He knew that was what was really the problem with the officer team. And that problem was Devon. He started talking to officers and High Council in private with a suggestion to plant in their heads. Devon had to be removed from the officership. He brought many high-minded reasons. Devon was trying to control the members' ability to express themselves. Devon was no longer a good culture fit, and how the team has evolved and changed. Devon was taking all of this too seriously, and it was tearing the leadership apart and perhaps the Chocobos forever. But here, Hairy Dukes had made a mistake. Let us turn now to Felzaku, a new officer in the guild and the youngest person of the officer team. Fresh blood with a young mind. Felzaku had never liked Hairy Dukes. He found Hairy Dukes annoying and kind of an arsehole, and as far as Felzaku could tell, the feeling was mutual. Still, Hairy Dukes was a senior officer, while Felzaku was the newest member, so things stood at a chilly détente for most of their gaming careers. But the swimsuit schism, my friends, made for strange bedfellows. Or at least Hairy Dukes thought so. During one of the interminable vociferous meetings, Felzaku opined that a guild-wide transmog rule set seemed like a dumb idea. Hairy Dukes took this small on-side comment as an opportunity to slide into the pink. He started sending Felzaku some Discord messages under the radar. Little things like checking on his life, making small talk. What's going to happen in the raid, do you think? Trap. It's filthy bullshit, and Felzaku smelled it a mile away. He had literally never done any of this before in the 2 years that they had played together. Furthermore, Felzaku shared some friends with Hairy Dukes, and thus shared another Discord server with him. Maybe Hairy Dukes thought that he got Felzaku on side, or maybe he just forgot, but it was on that Discord that Hairy Dukes started airing the dirty laundry. Hairy Dukes chatted with those friends about the guild drama, but the whole time he still painted himself as an innocent victim of Devon's oppression, shit-talking the other officers for not agreeing with him. While the other officers, being supportive or silent, Felzaku decided to approach the High Council privately. I seek an audience! He wanted a meeting. The entire High Council, Felzaku and Devon. Devon asked if she could bring me along as emotional support, and they agreed. That meeting, ladies and gentlemen, would change the entire face of the guild. I admit the specifics of what was said escaped my mind. Everyone involved was mired in emotions, made references to events that I wasn't present for. What I present here to you and now is the result of reviewing logs and discussions with other officers after the fact. What I remember is Felzaku presenting his case, detailing the ways Hairy Dukes was lying and two-timing the officers, and even going against the wishes of the High Council. Everything was put out there. From Hairy Duke's anti-Devon aggression to his backstabbing on a different Discord server, Devon, for her part, was in despair. She felt stuck between staying with her friends but keeping the soul and expectations of this community that drew her here in the first place. Now, perhaps the High Council had twigged on to Hairy Duke's scheming ways, or perhaps some of this was corroborated by some other side meetings I have no way of knowing of. But I'll tell you this. They took Felzaku and Devon at their word. In fact, the High Council had already rendered judgment. They informed us that the officer team was going to be completely disbanded. They had already talked to Gramza. He was willing to step down and step away from this mess. What they needed now was a new leader to appoint, someone who was respected in the guild, but was not, more importantly, involved in swimsuits. Everyone paused for a while, thinking. Eventually, I piped up. I suppose that's me then, as the only person not involved. So that was that. The officer team was crushed under the weight of the banana hammock, and I was appointed the new guild leader. Anyone who wanted to remain or become an officer would have to reapply. Frankly, a lot of the officers sighed a breath of relief. Gramza and nearly Gramzaf, the former officers, stepped away from leadership so they could focus on raiding and not have to deal with things like swimsuits and dongas anymore. The officer team went from its bloated 7 members to 5, including myself, with some old officers and new. Hairy Dukes, in shame, was disbarred from the guild by the High Council. A couple of other members left with him because of the larger guild drama. But they had repeatedly joined and left the guild before, so we expected them back the next expansion. And they were. No one else went with them. So for as much drama as there was, not many people even left. Hairy Dukes even stayed in the raid team since he was friends with the raid leader and now former guild leader. And we just kept on raiding. I felt pretty fortunate that it didn't go any worse. But I say this to you, ladies and gentlemen. If only it ended there. 3 months later and the guild is chugging along. Plans were in motion for an Easter event with a virtual egg hunt. Hairy Dukes had joined another guild but still raided with us, and the guild had stuck together under my leadership. But one late night I found myself unable to sleep and decided I'll just log in for a little bit and see what's going on. To my horror, our guild bank was empty. The culprit, a relatively new member who had applied through the website not long ago. I got the website admin and the officers on Discord and we tried to figure out what the damage was and what needed to be done. At the time, we didn't suspect this was anything other than a rando smash and grab. It was rough, but not the end of the world. New members didn't have access to the really good stuff, but we did allow free access to the Chocobo food. And those chocobos were now starving. Which Devon helped us to get through gardening. This stuff was a little hard to get. You needed a house to grow it, and was needed to both improve your chocobo companion and change its colour. The biggest loss was our stack of Thavnarian onions. Who takes the onions? Which are required to take chocobos to their max level. All told, we're looking at about 25 million gil in losses. The officers and I were shocked, but now was the time to clean up. I informed the guild and asked Devon to make a plan for rebuilding the stocks. I checked the FF14 website where that character was now, but it had already been deleted. The website admin in Felzaku got to work making sure we IP banned the thief. Well, that gave us our first hint that something, of course, was a little strange in this little theft. The admin came back to us with a confused message. The IP of the thief matched Hairy Dukes and Devon. What? No! We were confused too and eventually dismissed it as the website being broken. We are not very good at the... Yes, we are not very good at the technologies, but if I may defend myself, I was much more focused on building our stocks back up and had basically assumed that it was a one-off guild thief. It might have ended there if another guild member hadn't done a bit of their own detective work. Enter Marcus, with a keen eye and a touch for the flamboyance. Marcus was a newer member and a raider, but had struck up a strong friendship with Felzaku. I had announced the theft, but Marcus inquired further and heard about the IP address's weirdness that we had just dismissed as a website error. This sounds like Nups came into it, right? Right, Chris? Sounds like Nups came in and went, wait a minute, logs don't lie. Marcus started doing some inquiries himself. And eventually he caught me on Discord one day with an important question. Has Devon ever spent time at Hairy Dukes' home? Realization struck like lightning. Devon had spent a week with Hairy Dukes nearly a year ago, and had logged onto the website and FF14 from her laptop while there. Marcus looked up the IP address and it pointed right at Hairy Dukes' hometown. It was Hairy Dukes. That arsehole made an alt account, applied to the chocobos through our website, and used that account to steal our chocobo food. The chocobo food that Devon was primarily responsible for, as a big hit on her. I called the officers and as the raid leader to tell them about this exposure of the former officer, and learned that the chicanery had gone even further. Hairy Dukes had actually given Gramza an alibi for the night that the alt account was created. We actually postponed the raid that week because Hairy Dukes was supposed to be performing in a musical and couldn't attend the raid. He probably thought he was being clever or needed an excuse to be disconnected as he snuck in on his alt. Have you not got Battle.net in Final Fantasy XIV? Can you hide? If only he hadn't logged onto his home computer to apply the alt on our website. Gramza had his own meeting with Hairy Dukes, though I opted not to join. I felt the raid decision should be left to the raid leader. I wasn't worried though. Gramza was certain Hairy Dukes was the thief and was meeting more out of respect for 3 years of 3 years of raiding together, and you nicked the onions, you prick. In your banana hammock? You're an onion-stealing, banana hammock-wearing guy. What are you doing with yourself, right? You've got to look in a fucking mirror, man. You've got to look in a mirror, realise you stood in a swimsuit with a bag of onions and throwing away 3 years of playing with your friends. Like, what's happening? Honestly. To hear tell, it went badly. Hairy Dukes rallied against the officers. How he was being targeted by lies and he was being scapegoated unjustly. He accused Gramza of betraying their friendship and falling in with usurpers that had taken over the guild. It wasn't very convincing. Gramza informed Hairy Dukes that he was no longer a part of the raid team. This was the last we ever saw of him. He switched servers soon after and none of us cared to keep up with him. Belzaku still had his mutual friends though, so every so often stories would come back through the grapevine. Apparently he went on to home wreck a raid team by spending too much time with people's girlfriends. He had all them onions though, man. How can the girls say no? Fucking dude rocks up. Bag of onions. You kidding me? Chocobos coming through the roof. Levels flying. The ladies are going to turn an eye. You got to be ready for that as a fella. You got to be ready. Devon and I are still together. And I'm still the guild leader 3 years later. Good for you. Still raiding with a lot of the same people and looking forward to a new expansion in the fall. But sometimes my friends and I look back and think about this crazy saga. Hairy Dukes was a good player, helpful and friendly to a lot of us. Maybe it was all manipulative bullshit, but it's hard to think back on many entertaining hours of savage raiding progression as all bad. Of course! All that said, I hope Preacher in the chat appreciate a little story of an officer and his long, dramatic fall from grace. All in the name of swimsuits and onions. Thank you for your time, and here's to many more drama times to come. Whew. That was, wow. Everyone's guilty. You're all guilty. Honestly, everyone's guilty. This is psychotic. Why do these freaks care about transmog? I know, right? Imagine caring about transmog. Sad. Big sadness. How are we doing on time? We've got like 10 minutes. Awesome. I've got preparations to do after that. Let's do this funny one. It's a role-playing one, apparently. Let's do this little fun one to finish out our Friday, because I don't think anything's going to top the onion-stealing, swimsuit-wearing hero of the day. What do we got here? A taxi in the Shadowlands. Okay. No one's got flying, then. Those chocobos. Well, that's the point. We never found out. Did the chocobos ever get fed? Hopefully the chocobos didn't die out. That would have been tragic if that was happening. They became guilty when they started playing. Hey, Final Fantasy 14. Very popular game. Very popular. Hey, Preacher in the Glorious Chat. I come to you today with a little story. A small story where we might be able to share some laughs in the face of the doom and gloom that we are currently experiencing. That grueling wait for 9.1. If the story will tell you anything, it'll be 2 important rules. 1, you cannot escape Argent Dawn roleplay. It will find you, no matter how hard you try to hide. And 2, don't ever get a taxi in the Shadowlands. Okay? Let me set you the scene. In the early hours of Monday morning, hours after a grueling raid progression on Stone Legion Generals. Side note, Blizzard, what the fuck were you thinking putting the worst mechanics dotted throughout the raid all on one boss? Go fuck yourselves. There it is. I decided to help my IRL friends who are new to the game get something nice for their vaults. No, you don't do that. No. They need to figure that shit out themselves. No. I thought after a night of raiding, maybe the hardest boss I have experienced, for all the wrong reasons I might add, a plus 10 Halls of Atonement would do nicely. In my tiredness, I failed to recognize that prideful, bursting, and explosive might have been quite hard on my newbie 185 Holy Paladin, alongside an equally geared and experienced Arcane Mage. Brackets, people play this? Question mark. Arcane's really fun, you jackass. He actually says that, like... Arcade's cool, man. Arcade's really fun. As you might have guessed, it did not go well. And while I would spend all day describing the trials and tribulations of this event, I believe I would only expose my sneaky elitist nature. You gave it... We know you're elitist. You're mocking the arcane mages. And I would receive the ultimate shame of a guilty from your chat. After a terrible run, which was not completed... Oh, you didn't finish? Yikes. You really didn't finish the 10? No way, dude. I asked a pumper boomy from my guild to help us rush down a plus 6. You didn't do the 9? Why didn't you do the 9? You went from 10 to 6? Okay. Luckily, a blaster of a Death Knight also joined in the festivities, and we downed that key in no time. After this supposed boost dragged on past the hour mark, my 2 friends and the Death Knight left, leaving me with my Moon King companions sitting just outside of Oribos, on the rim next to the Orgrimmar portal. Never spend alone time with Moonkins. They're all degenerate fucks. Every single last fucking one of them. We discussed our raid. Shot the shit as we do in World of Warcraft. How bad Stone Legion Generals is. Our own and others' performances. The usual stuff. However, after the experience I just had, I wasn't down for the usual stuff. I wanted to have fun. Let loose. Troll a little bit. Because then I would feel complete. I decided to go through several of my shit mogs and asked if she liked them. The answer was also a no to every single one. Due to this, though, an orc shaman decided to stand facing us while I was changing all my mogs. As still as a statue. There was only one correct... You're being judged. You're being judged. What are you doing? Testing out Mogs. Change then. Go on. Change then. Do it for me. There was only one correct move for this situation. We mooed, kissed, farted, laughed, spat, poked, sniffed, and of course farted again all over that orc. But alas, the orc observer, the fashionista himself, had a heart of steel and did not flinch. He took one step forward and nothing else. After such a complete disrespect of not acknowledging my own disrespect towards him, I did what any sane man would do, and I started to pipe up in the white. You want some, mate? You looking at... Again, no response. The sheer size of these orcish balls not only stopped me and my friends in our tracks, but behind us, a Pandaren mage on a server I had never heard of, wearing nothing but what I believed to be the Wandering Isle set from their starting area and a fluffy Santa hat. We're not safe in any game, are we? We're not safe. I'm mocking swimsuits over there. There's a panda over here wearing a Santa hat. It's all gone downhill, man. We used to be champions, you know, slaying old gods, bringing down safety on the people of Azeroth. Now we're fucking fluffy, juicy-ass pandas and Santa hats rolling around in the afterlife. Of course, as any sane person would do, I turned my attention towards the panda. What are you looking at me? The Pandaren emoted, cowering in fear. I piped up. I didn't know there was RP here. You trying to fuck me, mate? You trying to fuck me? You think this is RP or what? After another round of spamming sniffs and farts at our lovely furry victim, he decided... Not everybody who plays a Pandaren is a furry, okay? He decided to get off his Arden-wheeled frog, move himself left and then right, looking at us both, getting so close that I could feel his soft, subtle whiskers glaze my fluffy face. I'm a Tauren. None of you better be spanking it to this. And after an inspection, the panda spoke. Stop harassing me. He mounted his chauffeured chopper, the heirloom mount. Come on, Zabian. Let's go. Apparently he had renamed his mount to Zabian and was now driving... He's named his mount? Okay. He's now driving off. Not wanting to be outdone, my friend mounts her warlord's death wheel and begins following our new furry friend, spamming her obnoxiously loud jumps behind him. Myself, not wanting to be outdone, mount my equally matching and obnoxious swift pink hawk strider, tailing my victim like a dog to a bone. The RP then picked up. Zabian, speed up! He spammed A&D while crawling across the outskirts of Oribos, but there was no escaping. You've put this in to torment me, Bex. Me and my friend followed our furry friend halfway around Oribos, farting and sniffing him all the way. Hurry up, Zabian! At this point that I come up with perhaps the most ingenious plan to date. I used our furry compadre's RPing repertoire against him. Me. Hey, Zabian! You're gonna miss your exit! It's right now! The mount stops, takes one look right, looks at the moor in all its glory, puts his back to our sanctuary of Oribos, and takes one step forward. It's a shortcut, mate! You'll save time that way! Slowly but surely, Zabian crawled towards the edge of Oribos. Our panda was as good as gone, and we farted and sniffed him all the way. As he reached the edge in what felt like minutes, but was probably only a few seconds, he stopped. Zabian takes a moment to appreciate his surroundings. He turns left and right, and gets so close to the edge that only the back wheels are remaining on the platform. He turns to allow our panda friend some final words. Zabian. No! And with that, the panda drove himself off the edge. Because that is what Zabian, his driver, would have done. He was gone. And with it, my toxicity and trollness. We cried for our lost panda and his murderous Zabian. We drove around to the spawn to locate our friend, but he was nowhere to be seen. He and his taxi man were truly lost to the void. After the bitter sweetness subsided, I laughed. I laughed at 4 in the morning. Quite honestly, it was the most bizarre and ridiculous moment I've ever had in World of Warcraft. Unexpectedly and all the better after the shitty night of Stone Legion Generals. My only regret was not seeing it coming so that I could have recorded the whole ordeal. If I did so, however, I might not have taken the time to write this to both entertain myself and your audience. Thank you for listening, Mike. Thank you, Preach, and the team for delivering good content. If you've learned anything today, never, ever trust Zabian. He might drive you straight into the darkness. Oh, Zabian, why would you do this? I mean, that little bit of RP to wrap up our day. That is the end of drama time for this week. But in a couple of hours, my friends, we will be getting right started here. We will be here with some of the champions of World of Warcraft. Right here on the channel right now. If you're live with me right now, 2 hours-ish, 2.5-ish. We'll probably get the stream up and going. We will be here with the best of the best of the best of the best, sir. Have some fun. Talk about some 9.1 rating and what these crazy, crazy, crazy expectations these guys put on themselves. And that is what we will be doing soon. But the Euros, that's all right. Strap on a beer. It'll be up on YouTube later. All right. Be good, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for another wonderful week. It's not over yet. Remember, E3 is going to be over the weekend. I'll tweet out the times for the E3. Thank you to everybody who subbed and the bits and things throughout the show. Sorry I don't address you during the show, but obviously I am doing the show. But it's very much appreciated. I'll be back later. Have a good evening, everybody. Bye-bye. Find my correct button so Chris doesn't shout at me.